Okay, so Triple H had just lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Because unfortunately, he would start having an issue with a certain beast incarnate known as
Brock Lesnar, who would make a return to WWE following WrestleMania 28. And would basically demolish Triple H's office, break Shawn Michaels' arm,
Yep.
break Triple H's arm,
in storyline.
They would have a match at SummerSlam of 2012. They may have had one more.
Yeah.
Also, during this period, whilst he's not dead all the time, this is when development of a little known brand called NXT would start.
Yes, the first iteration of it. Not the reality show side, but the second version
With superstars who now find themselves main eventing or high profile on the Raw or SmackDown, and also with one or two who now find themselves in a company that must not be named.
Yes. But also, before he turned NXT, you also had this authority kind of storyline happening.
Well, it was kind of simultaneous that he was doing that.
Yeah.
Then this whole thing with Brock Lesnar would stretch out to WrestleMania 29.
Oh, yes.
In which I believe Triple H burnt himself in his entrance on that one.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, so Lesnar would lose that match. Then Triple H would kind of disappear again for a short period of time. But then, when a special guest referee was needed for a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam between John Cena and Daniel Bryan, Triple H would show back up again.
Make himself the referee and count the 1, 2, 3 for Daniel Bryan.
However,
this would be the start of a faction that me and my colleague hated back in the day.
Well, first of all, the month prior, Randy Orton had won the Money in the Bank ladder match. So, Triple H decides to pedigree Daniel Bryan and allow Orton to cash in. They tried to keep Bryan down all the way. He did manage to get to second reign, but because of a Scott Armstrong fast count,
Yes.
that title reign lasted like one day.
Unfortunately.
Shawn Michaels would then kind of cost Daniel Bryan a Hell in a Cell to decide who would be the WWE champion. And then, when the Yes Movement took over and WWE could not ignore them anymore, literally,
Yep, literally.
a match was made for WrestleMania 30 in the Silverdome. I mean Superdome. They'll never get old. With Triple H and Daniel Bryan. The winner would be inserted into the triple threat match that was going to be made with Randy Orton and that year's very unpopular Royal Rumble match winner Batista.
Yes.
So Daniel Bryan wins that match, gets his ass kicked after the match. Then during the match, Triple H shows back up again. But nothing would stop D-Boy from being the Miracle on Bourbon Street. Then we go to, what was it? Ah, yes. Due to the Shields stepping in and effectively turning face the night after WrestleMania, Triple H decided that an Evolution reunion was in order.
Yes. Where the crowd, when Evolution came back, were pretty much silent and non-reactive.
So, for the next two pay-per-views, we had the Shield vs. Evolution matches.
And both times, the Shield would win.
But then, Triple H would basically say to Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins that when Plan A doesn't work, there's Plan B.
And Seth Rollins would hit Roman Reigns in the back with a steel chair and demolishing Dean Ambrose with a steel chair, effectively breaking up the Shield and Seth Rollins joining Triple H.
The Authority would basically run roughshod over Raw for pretty much the entire year. Until John Cena stood up to him and a Survivor Series match was created in which if John Cena won, the Authority was out of power. John Cena would win this match, despite the Authority trying to get involved 100 times, with a little bit of help from WCW legend Sting.
Yes.
Then this would ultimately lead to Triple H vs. Sting at WrestleMania, a match that Triple H should have lost.
But unfortunately, he didn't lose.
After that match and the Heist of the Century, which we will get to later this week.
Yes, we will. And what will be a busy week for us.
The Triple H basically spent his time molding the new champion Seth Rollins. But then Seth Rollins would get injured.
Yes, by destroying his knee on a live tour, facing Kane in a tables match.
The Survivor Series basically turned into a tournament to crown a new champion.
In which Roman Reigns won the tournament, and Triple H gets Superman punched for his efforts.
Yes, but this would lead to an almost instant cash-in by Sheamus, who looked stupid at the time.
He kind of still does now.
But then Roman would win the title back from Sheamus after Vince decided to show back up. But then this leads to the 2016 Royal Rumble being for the WWE Championship. First time the title was being defended in the Rumble match. And it just, well, technically 1992 the title wasn't defended, it was just up the line.
Yes.
So, and it just conveniently enough, Roman Reigns had to start this match from number 1. And the number 30 entrant just so happened to be Triple H.
And after several more authority figures went down, Triple H would take advantage and eliminate Roman Reigns.
And then quickly eliminate Dean Ambrose to win the match and win his 14th and final World Championship in WWE.
He would defend the championship successfully against Ambrose at Roadblock, but then at WrestleMania, Triple H would lose the championship to Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 32.
And how appropriate is it that that match took place at AT&T Stadium?
Exactly the same arena where this year's WrestleMania is going to, without being coming later this week.
So after this situation in 2016, with the return to TV of Shane McMahon, Triple H kind of took a back seat.
While he was focusing his attention on NXT and the live shows.
As he would show up every now and then, like to be on a Survivor Series team, but mostly focused his attention on building NXT to what it was before someone else decided to change it entirely. And 2018 is the next memorable thing that happens when WrestleMania returns to the Superdome. And we have a mixed tag team match. Oh, excuse me, I need to rewind slightly. I need to rewind just a year. Seth Rollins returned from injury and was let's just say pedigreed by Triple H when he handed the Universal Championship to an NXT success story, Kevin Owens.
Thus starting a rivalry between himself and his former mentor, this will ally the Authority, Seth Rollins.
Which would ultimately lead to a match at WrestleMania 33. Of course, Stephanie couldn't keep her nose out of it.
Rollins ended up picking up the win over Triple H.
And would be crowned at least until the 2 years down the line, the Kingslayer.
Yes, so then we go slightly back to an early WrestleMania than that, between a confrontation between my broadcast partner and Ronda Rousey.
Oh yes, this is what. Technically, this happened after the match with Sting. With The Rock would never hit a woman, but I have a very good friend who would be happy to.
And as I said, that person would be Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
So this whole thing, fast forward a couple of years, basically leads to a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania 34. Now, I believe the hope and probably initially going into this was to do Stephanie McMahon and Triple H versus The Rock and Ronda Rousey.
But unfortunately, The Rock couldn't make the match.
So it became Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey.
In which Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle took the win by submission after Ronda made Stephanie tap out to the armbar.
And then
this is when we get into one of Triple H's most stinkiest matches, Mr. Barkley Jenner.
Do we really want to go there?
I don't think we should.
Yes. In 2018, WWE signed more than a 10-year partnership to hold 2 shows a year in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
In the first one, he had a match with John Cena. Then, for some bizarre reason, Shawn Michaels decided to come out of retirement.
For one more match against the Rivers of Destruction.
On paper, it's a dream match.
But in reality...
But given the fact at this point, Shawn Michaels hadn't been in a match for like 9 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that The Undertaker is way past his prime. I mean, he's already... And to be fair, so is Triple H.
Yeah, at this point.
It was just a cluster, a mess.
Yeah, it was a mess. But his last actual match in front of a live television audience was the Super Showdown on July 7, 2019, in which he would lose a match against me.
We're skipping the storyline here at this point.
Oh, yes.
There was a Evolution reunion on an episode of SmackDown or something where they were honoring Triple H, and Batista makes a comment that this man has done everything you could think of in this business except beat me.
Which kind of stirred up emotions between Batista and Triple H.
Then on Ric Flair's birthday, I think it was.
Yes.
Batista basically attacks Ric Flair.
Basically planting the seeds for the match at WrestleMania.
And it was I would say to compensate for both guys' lack of being in their prime. This was a no holds barred match. And with a bit of help from Shane and not Ric Flair, Triple H would win this match. And then Batista, who botched his entrance,
by tripping over the middle row,
would ultimately retire from in-ring competition. Then we would go to a Super Showdown match between Randy Orton and Triple H, which was, as stated, Triple H's final in-ring match. His final televised appearance, however, before his little scare last year, was on the January 11th, yes, in which he got into a brawl with Randy Orton that ended with involvement of Alexa Bliss and The Fiend.
Which his sledgehammer was set on fire. And then, as we said, the cardiac event happened, and he announced his retirement on March 25th, 2018, due to his heart condition.
So after a career that spanned 25, 26 years, it is now officially
game over.
Any better myself. So what we can say from all of us on the Wrestling Talk Show is to you, Triple H, is thank you for an amazing career.
And if
And I
it
wish you all the best.
and if it wasn't too late already, I would say that he'd be going into the Hall of Fame, probably by himself next year.
Yeah, in 2020.
He's
So
already
as I
in.
said, once again, from all of us on the Wrestling Talk Show, we'd like to send our congratulations to Triple H on an amazing Hall of Fame worthy career.
Hopefully, you'll be able to do some kind of decent role to fix what's wrong with the company.
Hopefully, who knows? So, join us very soon for our next show, which will be coming up very shortly.